Red 2 standing by, all for lit, and in the green, welcome back to Pokemon Emerald version, where it is time to face Brawly. We are all good to go with our team, but there's something I'm going to be showing off as something kind of a bonus, if you will. Might put a few levels into Arbon, even though Arbon needs a lot of experience. Still more than Gemma. I have got a new Aron because, unfortunately, Smithy had a nature that really wasn't very helpful. I do try and get decent natures for Pokemon. Gex is all ready to go, but we're stumbling around in Dewford Gym and it's nice and dark. We can't use Flash just yet. Dark as the ocean floor, get brighter after defeating the trainers in your way, so we have to bumble around in a maze. Now, was it here? No, I think it was only in Ruby and Sapphire that they had the... You could interact with certain wall tiles, and that would actually show some of the statue dialogue, which was a little unusual. Well, a lot unusual. There are little programming errors that can change because that can happen because something's located in a different spot on the map. They can move certain things around. And yeah, okay, so we've at least got the option to use Leech Life against Meditite. Ah, Psychic Attack's not good. Mostly because I'm taking pride in my capable defensive stats and... well, physical defense anyway. I am just waiting to wind up having that 10% chance trip against me. Oh, man. Arbon, buddy, we're not getting very far, are we? Unless this hits... not even if this hits 5 times, which of course it didn't. That... oh, that went badly. Might be able to get away with Gemma, because I don't think Meditite has any fighting moves. So, we will headbutt it. Does have Meditate to power itself up. We don't actually get to find Meditite. Now, I did realise I don't think I actually paid attention to Trico and Grovile's Pokedex entries. I don't think I've read those out. So, now that we have completed our battle and I've got my bearings again in terms of commentary, we will have a quick look at our starting Pokedex entries. Trico, the wood gecko Pokemon. This Pokemon was originally discovered after a wooden puppet carved by an elderly man came to life. It is said that Trico's tail actually grows bigger if it tells a lie. Grovyle, the wood gecko Pokemon. A more elaborate carving wound up becoming a real Pokemon. Grovyle takes it very personally if you wind up cutting your initials into trees, and it has been known to beat up young lovers who simply wish to make a romantic gesture that they think will last for a long time. So, there we go. I'll provide a few more of our, let's call it a Joker-Dex entry, but yeah, Meditite first up was not good for poor old Arbon. Arbon needs the experience because it takes a long time to actually get any leveling into Nincada early on. And we need to find all the different trainers too. Is this a dead end? Well, this is a double battle. That's not good. So, Gumption is actually a cleaning product. It's used to get really difficult stains off things. At least that's how it goes here anyway. So, Machop. Not Gemma. We're getting Gemma out of there. I didn't realise. Wait. No, Arbon, I want to fight, and we go Fury Swipes. Because Gemma is going to be whacked with a fighting move, and that won't go well. but we might have drawn some fire. Oh, lovely. Oh, I thought that was going to go really, really badly for a moment. Now, if I just absolutely locked in and went to knock out Metatite, I might be able to take it out before it can use Bide. Alright, so it should have another turn. If we get good rolls on Fury Swipes, which we did. Very nice. So, Bide actually has increased priority from Generation 4 onwards, because you could usually see it coming, so it could be theoretically possible to wind up defeating Brock's Onyx with a level 5 Caterpie, because, I mean, if I'm going to be brutally honest, Onyx really isn't that good. I mean, you kind of have to be. Brock's Onyx looks like it's big and intimidating and really strong, but its base attack is lower than Rattata's. It's got good defense, but that's really about it. Now, if this was Generation 1, every single strike of Fury Swipes would be a critical hit. Speaking of critical hits, oh well, finish it off. So yeah, lots and lots of moves have changed over time. It is still best to go with moves that have 100 accuracy and reasonable power, because, well, you don't want to get screwed over. I don't know how many competitive battles would have been lost because a Pokemon has whiffed a move at a given time, at any given time. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating, honestly. Which way? Are we even going the right way? That looks like a double battle. What happens if I go up here? No, I don't think that's a double battle. I think that's the way to Brawly. I think the layout changed a bit in Ruby and Sapphire. Oh no! Oh well, at least it's only one battle. I don't have to worry about Gemma winding up in the way. But Machop is also a fair bit stronger. Still, leverage the defense to my advantage. Now, you are going to see exactly why I've got Sableye in there. It's kind of an interesting one. I will reveal all in due time. So, 3 hits on Fury Swipes is stronger than Scratch. Hey, we actually got the maximum. Still doing about half. Oh, it does have Karate Chop. And, of course, we got the crit. Oh well. But even then, Karate Chop's not doing that much on account of the fact we resist it. Handy type in some ways, Bug. Jeez! And we still didn't knock it out. Damn! Just the way I've got my setup, I can't quite see that little sliver of health that is left on 1 HP. That's rough. Lousy low rolls. I mean, we pop a chance that is effectively a 1 in 64 getting 2 consecutive 5 hits. Because it's 1 in 8, then 1 in 8 again, and we still don't knock it out. Upset. Very upset. So, absolutely nothing up here. Oh well. I'm not sure if this has the same case as games like A Link to the Past, where every single dungeon area is on the same sort of map page. There's like the overworld, and then there are all the dungeons and caves and everything. Okay, this is interesting. They've all got 1 Pokemon. So again, use Harden. I think Makuhita might have slightly worse defense. Ah, the fun begins. So I guess we stick to Scratch. Man, that's actually a good move early on. Vital Throw has 70 power, but it won't miss. However, it always forces you to go second. it's kind of an interesting one. It's a bit of a trade-off. I don't think it's a worthwhile trade-off in some respects, but quite a lot of fighting Pokemon were actually very slow. Fury Swipes is going to be useless now, so I better stick with Scratch. Did you know that until Infernape came along, no fighting type Pokemon actually had a base speed over 100? Pretty much throughout generations 1, 2, and 3, fighting type Pokemon were very, very slow, which meant that Pokemon like Alakazam could rip them to shreds. A lot of psychic Pokemon weren't super fast, it just happened that Alakazam was probably the best one, and it had 120 base speed, which was very solid. Starmie is actually close behind with base 115 speed, also very good. Are we near Brawly? One more trainer. So, I will heal Arbin, just to make sure, and then we will go and fight Brawly, and I'll show off that thing I intended to. So yeah, most fighting types didn't have very good special stats, and they were a bit on the slow side. The fastest fighting type in the first 3 generations was Primeape, which had base 95 speed. So yeah, they couldn't even do 100. Infernape had base 108 speed, I think it was, and they've just got a little bit better and they've got better from there. I probably would have to go and get my bit of paper because I did take the fairly painstaking time to actually organize everything that shows how far, what the highest base stat for each Pokemon would be. Like, I did have to sort of muck around a little bit because now some things, there's the highest stat I calculated it as what's the highest stat in total. So that's like factoring in like every single Pokemon. Then I decided to remove the Mega Evolutions and the big legendary power-up forms, like Zacian and Zamazenta's Crown forms, Primal Reversions, the Megas, Duskmane, Dawnwings, Necrozma, Ultra Necrozma, Black and White Kyurem, those things. I did, however, keep things like the Rotom forms, Darmanitan's Zen forms in both cases, and regional variants because I thought it would be a bit fiddly to leave those out. Then there is the non-legendary best, which chops and changes quite a bit. So here's Brawly. Now, if you'll excuse me a small moment. Now, Pokemon games have often had problems with movesets, from the terrible move pools of Generation 1 to major trainers not even having full movesets in later games for some obscure reason. It's been a bit of a shambles. There have been many strange decisions. Some Pokemon haven't been able to use moves they really should be able to, and then we get situations like Brawly. Brawly, as has been mentioned, can't actually damage a Sableye. Any Ghost-type Pokemon has an advantage against him because his Pokemon only have damaging fighting moves. I did wind up trapping him in a loop for a little bit because I kept trying to lower his defense with Sableye's Leer, and Brawly kept trying to pump it back up using Bulk Up. So that made for a bit of an amusing quirk, but eventually we were able to chip away at him. You might need a Leper Berry along the way, but you can slowly wear his Pokemon down. Now, under normal circumstances, Meditite can't really hurt you if you keep attacking it because its only fighting move is Focus Punch. You probably will need to use special attacks to get past it, but it's not really that much of a threat. We steadily got there, and Sableye was just able to work its way through. It was slow, and as I said, you do need some PP restoring, but a freshly caught Sableye can beat Brawly in much the same way as a freshly caught Magnemite can completely screw over Roxy in Pokemon Black and White too. So really all they've done as far as the moveset problems go is just switch things around a little bit. It's like, okay, Pokemon movesets have got better over time. We've added more moves, more things that make sense. But the gym leaders and Elite Four members and major trainers don't always have full movesets, which is really, really stupid. Not exactly sure why that's the case, but yeah, we can, as you see, very slowly get through, and we just had enough to knock Makuhita out. So yeah, that's how bad it is. I'm fairly certain the AI wound up bugging out at some point because I kept lowering its stats, and they just kept spamming bulk up every time I used Leah, so I don't know, maybe I could have kept going, or it could have gone in an infinite loop. I don't know, but either way, we are ready for the proper fight. Turner's time to shine. We should be able to handle things pretty well. I don't know if Brawly does appear to be programmed to use bulk up. As you probably saw, the citrus berry works differently to how it does these days. Very nicely done. So, Turner's off to a good start. Meditite is probably the most annoying one, because it has access to I don't know, it doesn't... Jeez, that didn't do very much. Forgot Turner's attack is kind of crappy. But I think it's only got Focus Punch to attack us with. So if we keep chipping away at it... Yeah, it's only got Focus Punch. If we keep attacking... Because I actually blanked out on it. I've probably already mentioned it. But... So we'll get a Super Potion. Brawly has 2 of these. But basically, Meditite can't hurt us because it's either going to set up screens, bulk up, or it's going to use Focus Punch, which, if you just keep punching, we can't get hurt by. As long as we don't miss, which is going to be a surprise if I do. But just keep on chipping away, and we'll have it. And then we can take on Makuhita. This is Turner's big moment. Oh, low roll again! That gets annoying. That gets so tedious. I mean, and it's annoying that Meditite just sort of gets to sit there dual screening. And we're just stuck chipping away, slowly making it use up all these potions. And I hate the Meditite line. I have such an intense frustration towards it. When I actually did do a Ruby version Nuzlocke, I was fortunate that I only lost 2 team members. Both of them to members of the Meditite line. One was to the battle in the Windstrait family when the Meditite knew High Jump kicked 20 levels early and took out my Minun. And the other one was when I was training my Credillion Victory Road and a Metacam with High Jump kick got a critical hit. So I have hated the Meditite line ever since. I have refused to let it go. And I'm glad I don't have to worry about whether I'd use them or not in this. Alright, we are nearly there. Citrus Berry is going to kick in and restore about 30 HP. Vital Throw doesn't do very much damage, except it's a crit. Fortunately, we do get past bulk up. But, like, we've got the battle in hand. If anything, it's been more tedious than anything else, because the fact that you can't easily one-shot Brawly's Pokemon is annoying. You would probably need a Swellow, and that would be hard to get, because training around these parts, is not good. But Turner is level 19. And we have wound up getting the badge. I didn't actually bother with his dialogue. Whoa, wow, you made a much bigger splash than I expected. You swamped me. Okay, you've got me. Take this gym badge. And the gym lights up. And we get the Knuckle badge. Traded Pokemon level 30 and under will obey us. The Knuckle badge makes all Pokemon up to level 30, even those you get in trades, obey without question. And you'll be able to use the HM move Flash outside a battle. If you'd like, use this technical machine too. That's Bulk Up. That TMO8 contains Bulk Up. It's a move that raises both attack and defense stats. And we get Brawly in the Pokénav. So I'll probably have to pop back and say hello to Roxanne at some point so you can see the full display of the gym. And I still went the wrong way. Yep, so there's just me. No, they did remove it in Emerald, I believe. So now we can go and deliver the letter. The sooner the better. We can finally get through Granite Cave, and I need to work out which Pokemon will be best for using Flash. Because Flash is really a dead-end move that we don't want on a party member. Let's see what I've got. Whisper learn Flash? I think Lotad can. Pretty sure. I think Seedot can move. Can learn it. Okay, so we'll take Sableye out of the party. I'll need a bit of work before I can actually evolve Arbin. But that's going to be worth it. And then I will be using Shedinja, not Ninjask. But I need an empty space. You did need any Pokeball. You could just get away with any Pokeball in Generation 3. From Gen 4 onwards, I believe, it must be a Pokeball. So we'll put Gemma in the lead. Everyone on the team but Gemma can learn it. Okay. Seedot's learning it. But yeah, I'm going to wind up taking Turner out of the team and probably put Kiwi in. Because really I can just teach Kiwi a whole lot of moves along the way and that'll be alright. I'll have to see what Kiwi's abilities are. I mostly want to take a little bit of time trying to get some extra experience into Gemma too. Because the R Online's in the slow experience group and I need all the help I can get. Let there be light. So it doesn't fill the entire screen, which is a bummer. Now we can come back here with the Mark Bike and we'll be able to get a bit further through. And we've found a Voltorb. I mean, no we haven't. It's obviously a Zubat, but me saying and we found a Voltorb is pretty much my standard response to any time I turn towards an item, go to pick up the item, and the game overrides my A press on the item with finding a wild Pokemon. But I want more experience, so we're doing it this way. 1 Pokeball. Very good, very good. So, on the bottom floor, you can come back here with Rock Smash, and you have a chance of finding Nose Pass. It's the only place in the game you can actually find Nose Pass, and I don't know if the Pokédex tells you anything about it. What I'm going to do, Mud Slap will be a problem because it still does a lot of damage. Yup. Okay, also yup. Yup. Alright, come on. Actually, Metal Claw's going to be a... Really, game? Really? Thank you. So, because accuracy doesn't work like the other ones, it actually takes longer to get to half accuracy, and the absolute most your accuracy can be is 1/3. That really took a lot longer than it should have. So, the bottom floor of Granite Cave ran in the wrong direction. So, the Rock Smash Rocks are where you will find Nosepass, and it's not guaranteed. You can also find Geodude. Which I think I did wind up catching off screen, so we might as well actually get Geodude's Pokedex entry once I'm done. So, we're still very slow. Sableye can be useful, it just doesn't have great base stats. Yeah, Nightshade's a pain in the butt. But we get the knockout, we get some reasonable experience, and we move on. Okay, so I did forget about finding Geodude, so let's see where it is in the Pokedex. Probably in some sort of logical order. Geodude, the rock Pokemon. Geodudes take their coolness very seriously, as evidenced by the fact they slapped dude on the end of their name. Any Geodude that shows any possible signs of being considered uncool is ostracized and cast out into the wilderness. We've actually been pretty good on our Pokemon catching. Most of it does sort of happen off screen. I wonder where you get Mawile. I really have to check that one. I don't know if it's later in the game because I kind of assumed you only got Sableye. Oh yeah. I don't think I actually wound up reading out Sableye's Pokedex entry either, so we've got more fooling around with Pokedex entries to come after we have this battle. And... yeah, finish it with Mud Slap. That'll be easier. Oh, we're so close. We're so very close. And... wait, no, we want the Pokedex entry for Sableye, the Darkness Pokemon. It is known to live its entire life in darkness. This is not necessarily because it lives in caves, but instead because it decided to rip out its own eyes and put gems in there. What was it thinking? Some of these I have planned, some of them are spur of the moment. You'll probably hear me hesitating a little bit more if they're spur of the moment ones. Like, I mean, I did wind up having a good one for Wingull that is just sort of stuck in my head, so of course I'd better make sure I share that one. That is right near the start. Yes, Wingull, the seagull Pokemon. Wingull is known to have been able to mimic human speech, however, the only word it is known to speak is mine. On that note, don't ever think about eating chips, aka fries, on the beach near Slateport City. You will regret it. Trust me. So, there we go. We are almost there, but it's probably a good time to wrap things up. Once I get Gemma up a level, we should be set. It's been a bit of an adventure. We've had some interesting features, some strange approaches, but yeah, as long as you don't whiff a 95% chance, and you don't wind up having the 30% chance roll against you, they're supersonic missing, that's better. But yeah, mostly the gym battle, but we are all good to go on proceeding to the next part of the game. Wow, I've whiffed 295. Wait, hang on. Is it actually 90? 95% chance. Whiffing 2 in a row. I know it happens, but it sucks. You just sort of feel like you're cursed. So we've whiffed 2 95% chance. Maybe I shouldn't have said one more. Maybe I shouldn't have said one more. I've jinxed it. Thank you. About freaking time. Do not tell me. Do not. Okay, 15, but still frustrating. The point still stands. Thank you very much for joining me. Till next time, this is Red 2, returning to base.